Man, I hope that everyone has a few things they really want to do or see before they die. For me, watching lava flow was on the list. And the Big Island of Hawaii, which is the youngest of all the Hawaiian islands above sea level, offers one of the few opportunities to do this. Visitors to Volcanoes National Park can hike across lava beds created by the Kilauea volcano, currently the world's most active volcano. Kilauea sits just to the south of the island's other active volcano, Mauna Loa, and that beauty rises almost 14,000 feet above sea level. It's been said that Kilauea's behavior is so predictable that you can actually rush towards it for closer study, not away from it. If the Hawaiian fire goddess Pele directed the lava to destroy homes and towns over the centuries, she's equally responsible for allowing us to witness its beauty. So here's a primer on lava. There are two types, and their Hawaiian names have been adopted by volcanologists worldwide to describe all lava flows. Pahoehoe, which means smooth and satiny, is quick-flowing basalt lava. It's soft-looking. It's as if someone just threw down a soft blanket of black rock. Here's a piece I brought home. See how smooth this is? Looks like a chocolate brownie, doesn't it? Now, Pahoehoe is also largely responsible for creating lava tubes, underground flows of lava that eventually leave tunnels of their own. And the other kind of lava is called E'e. It's not quite as hot as Pahoehoe, and its slow, more viscous movement creates walls of lava that dredge up everything in its path. E'e is an onomatopoeia, actually. It describes the experience of walking over it. You have no choice but to go, hey, hey, if you're in, bare feet. So here's some E'e from my new collection. Hard to imagine a casual afternoon stroll over this, isn't it? But check out all that silica. Some of these are absolutely luminescent. Many are also quite fragile. I could crush them quite easily. You can see how the island's famous black sand beaches are formed. Speaking of which, behold, a black sand beach not far from Volcanoes National Park. It's along the island's southern coast. It's so beautiful. Sea turtles really know a good hangout when they see one, don't they? I picked up these rocks on that beach, and the erosive power of the sea has turned that ancient lava into stones that are suitable for a Zen garden. Contrast this to other parts of the island, like the northwest area around Waikoloa. A walk along the beach in this area turns up these amazing bleached shells embedded in old lava. They're everywhere, and locals use these to create graffiti along the highway. It goes on for miles and miles. This part of the island sees very little rain, so the inland terrain remains barren and reminds me of parts of New Mexico. Okay, back to Volcanoes National Park. If you're there, you will not see lava flowing these days. The closest you'll get right now is a look at the caldera. Most calderas are formed after a big volcanic eruption, but Kilauea's has been formed more slowly over time by ongoing lava flow beneath the surface. These photos do not do it justice at all, but there is this ethereal red glow, and it's best seen at night. But if there's all this lava bubbling around underground, where's it coming out? Well, Kilauea's lava is currently flowing through underground lava tubes past the park's boundaries and out into the ocean. We'd heard from friends that the best way to get there was to drive to the old fishing village of Kalapana, or what's left of it, and take the hike from there. Lava covered most of Kalapana in a 1990 eruption, but the property of a fairly magical local man named Uncle Robert was spared, and he's created a small oasis at the literal end of the road for travelers like us. So at Uncle Robert's Kava Bar, we joined a guided group for the hike, 2.5 miles each way over lava beds. We could have done this on our own, but we were so glad we took the advice of friends. Our guides knew the best way to navigate the terrain. Even with our good hiking boots, flashlights, rain ponchos, our guides made a big difference in our safety. That was especially important for the hike back at night and through rain showers. Our guides, whose families have lived in the area for generations, were able to share history and legend along the way. I mean, here we are. We're crossing this otherworldly landscape, and then we learn that we're standing over where a church once stood, or a school, or a playground. This is my new standard for the definition of surreal. But if there's one thing you learn on a hike like this, it's that life wants to be lived. Older flows showed signs of unexpected life. The ohia tree is the first life form to emerge from the ash, and it boasts a really beautiful red flower. Our guides warned us not to pick it, lest it rain, so we didn't, but it did. Still, rain is normal and regular on this part of the island. Now look at the petals on this beach naupaka plant. See how they form only half of a circle always on the bottom? These plants, which grow about 18 inches tall, cover the coastline, and you know what's really weird? There's a tree-like version of the naupaka in the mountains on the island, and the petals always grow in a semicircle on the top. Put them together, you get a complete flower. And legend has it that these two plants represent the souls of lovers torn apart. Anyway, on our walk, we could see the clouds of steam rising off the ocean as dusk arrived, along with a slight scent of sulfur in the air. And as the sun set, we passed over a lava bed that was only 2 weeks old. We could feel the heat beneath us. We could see red embers in the crevices below. And then we were there, about 40 yards from the flow. It rolled over the coastline and slowly met the sea. I have seen some incredible fireworks in my lifetime, but they couldn't hold a candle to the power and the beauty of this. So earlier I said something about the Big Island being the youngest of all the Hawaiian islands above sea level. And that's because there's a new one being born, Luihi, about 17 miles off the southeast coast of the Big Island. If you're wondering how any of these islands are being born, check it out. The Earth's crust shifts slowly over time, and at this point in the Pacific, the crust has moved over a hotspot, a place through which magma from the planet's core has found its way to the surface through volcanoes. And the chain of islands bears this out, moving from oldest to newest in a straight line over this hotspot. It explains why Mauna Loa is still very active, and explains how Luihi's underwater volcanic activity is really it's creating an island that's already 10,000 feet above the ocean floor, and it should find its way to the surface in approximately 30,000 years. But until then, we've got Kilauea on the Big Island, and you don't need a passport to get there.